A few years ago during the Olympics, the opening ceremony of the Olympics was supposed to be directed by a Japanese director named Kentaro Kobayashi. The night before the ceremony, the Olympic Committee fired him because they found out that 23 years earlier, he had told Holocaust jokes. Yeah, but meanwhile, Germany was allowed to compete. I don't understand the attachment to the Olympics. I mean, I just don't understand attaching yourself to the physical prowess of other people because they're from the same country as you are. I don't even watch team sports anymore. Like, I watched the Yankees this year, and I was a fan again because they were in the World Series. But then they humiliated all of us, and they lost, so I won't watch them again until maybe next year, if they're in the playoffs. And I say that, and guys are like, you're a bandwagon fan. Yes. Shouldn't you be a bandwagon fan? How has professional sports convinced people that you are somehow a deeper and more meaningful person if you tolerate a bad product? Like, if you went to the same restaurant every Sunday and got food poisoning, and someone's like, you want to go somewhere else? You wouldn't go, I gotta be loyal. I watch them when they win, and you tell guys that, and they're like, yeah, I was watching the Yankees when they were in last place. All right, well, you're a fucking idiot. What do you want me to tell you? You're a stupid asshole. And you're one of the reasons they were in last place, dummy. Because if no one showed up, they would have gotten better. But people like you would sit there like an idiot, and they're like, we don't have to fucking do anything. They're still coming. I did something. I helped the team. I took my baseball dollars, and I gave them to escorts. That's what I did. But it's this weird, like, junky pride that people have. It's this, like, attachment. Like, if you're married to somebody and she used to cheat on you, you wouldn't brag about that. You wouldn't be proud of that. If people are like, hey, your wife is really nice. Nah, well, I loved her when she was fucking everyone. So. I could have went to Paris this year for the Olympics. Some comedians I know went and did a bunch of sets for expats, and I didn't want to go. I've been to Paris once. It was nice, but the Louvre, I'm not an art guy, I guess. Anyone who says art guy obviously doesn't know anything about art. Like, Picasso sucks. I'm sorry, can we just get this? What a pile of shit this guy is. Every fucking painting, the nose is over there, there's two teeth, the eyes are over there. Every person in a Picasso painting looks like that woman in Connecticut who got attacked by a chimp. Picasso stunk. And the Mona Lisa, I mean, it's this fucking big. Could you blow it up? I mean, I'm 5'6", standing 40 feet away from it, trying to see over someone's head while some woman with hairy armpits throws tomato soup on it because the fucking... The Mona Lisa was a frump. Her little fat wrists. Ugh, oh, you can't tell if she's frowning or smiling. Great, she's autistic. I don't give a shit. What a fucking fat Karen. That's what she was. Do you live in this building? Let me see your key fob. What unit are you in? Fucking fat, frumpy Karen. She's probably just someone Da Vinci picked up and fucked at the end of the night. 2 o'clock in the morning, all the attractive paintings left. And then he's like, all right, well, there's Lisa at the end of the bar eating a chicken pot pie. Fucking downing in apple juice. She looks like she queefed a lot. That's what I want you to think of. When you look at the Mona Lisa, I want you to think she queefed at 3 o'clock in the morning in the back of Da Vinci's car. The only painting I like is the Scream painting. You know that Scream painting? I kind of like that with the, you know, because that's always how I imagine women will react when I show my dick. It's not, though. It's unfortunately. Thank God I didn't know that artist. The painting would be. He's a Norwegian artist. I keep forgetting his name, Edvard Munch or something like that. And my wife won't stop bread because she's Norwegian, and she just loves anything that is from Norway. And I like Norwegians. They're nice people, but they're an odd group. If you've been to Scandinavia, they're very, very like, oh, hello, Jim. How are you, Jim? Like, they all look like they're staring at past trauma through the back of your head. How are you doing, Jim? How was your flight? And the food sucks. Norwegian food, I'm sorry, it sucks. I should have married a girl whose food I liked in their culture. If you're gonna get married, examine the culture of the person and make sure you enjoy the cuisine. I should have married an Italian girl or a Japanese girl. I'm Irish. I never would have married an Irish girl. I would have married a small rodent before I married an Irish girl. Because you know, at least once in a while, they would bring in something you like. But Norwegians they have a food called lutefisk. Okay, you've heard it. It's one of these foods that makes it onto these shows. We dare you to eat it. It's a fish that they bury and it rots, and they treat it, I think, with lye and salt. They dig up a rotted fish and then they eat it with butter and potatoes. If that's your delicacy, because it is a delicacy around the holidays, what is your normal lunch? Like, what did you have this afternoon? Did a hornet fly into your mouth and sting you until it died and then you swallowed it? Norwegians are very Christmas cardy type people, very gingerbread house-ish. Like their traditions around the holidays are very wholesome. We were there last year and my wife said, I can't wait for you to see the marzipan pig. I obviously had never heard of this. I assumed that marzipan was a place, and there was a girl there who would do anything you wanted. I couldn't wait to meet her. I'm like, my wife is awesome, introducing me to this. Well, the marzipan pig, she'll eat your ass on the first date. What a great girl. Which, to digress for 1 second, I do like that a lot. Having my ass eaten is phenomenal. I mean, my attitude changes greatly. I mean, it's like literally fucking chin in hand, all fours. I'm like a Hummel figurine. There's a porcelain umbrella over me. And if a guy eats your ass, it means he likes your ass. If a woman eats your ass, she is batshit crazy. Especially if it's early in the relationship, like if it's during your first date and you're in the car and she's like, lift your cheek, let me get in there. You're like, wow, this is not a relationship that's gonna end with a handshake and agree to disagree. This will implode someday. This is gonna end with a fucking police car and an ashtray through the bay window. Well worth it, but I mean, it's gonna end. So here's what it is. Marzipan is an almond-based candy. And it's not that good. It's a very odd-tasting candy. I can't even describe it. But they make a little pig out of this candy. And it's a prize for the kids. And what they do is all the kids eat porridge. So the adults will take an almond and put an almond in one of the porridge bowls. And whatever kid gets the almond, he wins the marzipan pig. Which I think is hilarious. They're putting a choking hazard in somebody's... Like if they don't have an almond, they get a small Lego piece and whatever child grabs his neck and collapses dead on the floor, his surviving family members get a fucking tasteless pig to take home and look at. And it didn't sound very good, so I said to her, how many times have you won it? And she's like, I've never won it. And I realized I married a fucking loser. I love my wife. Like, I really love my wife. I really do. One thing I hate about her, though, and this is going to seem like a strange thing to hate, she is an awful storyteller. Like a really bad storyteller. And you don't think of that when you first meet a person. You don't think of that until you realize you're trapped in a life. With a person where every time they open their mouth at a party, you're like, please just be doing something like threatening self-harm. Not a story, not a story. That's my greatest fear at a party. Not that she gets drunk and obnoxious, but that I walk into the living room and see her hovering over 3 hostages, staring at the eyes are rolling back like a shark eating. She sucks at telling a story. But I say that, it sounds harsh, but I know I'm a bad storyteller. Jokes is a different thing. It's a different skill set. I am not a good storyteller. It doesn't matter what I'm talking about. No one wants to hear it for long. On 9/11, if I escaped from the top floor of one of the towers, I would still lose people halfway through the story. But hers are so, I'll tell you one she told me, and I'm not going to make it worse, I'm not going to exaggerate. They're not awful stories, like they're not sad or upsetting. They're just stories that don't need to be told. Like, you ever have somebody say something, you're like, I don't even know why a person would think that, much less put it through an internal vetting process and go, yep, that's ready for public consumption. Here's one she told me. She was with her girlfriend, and they were in a perfume store. They were shopping for perfume, and they're laughing, and they're spritzing, and they're talking to the clerk, and then the clerk turned around, and her friend stole a tester bottle of perfume. See? Don't you feel like our time has been wasted? Don't you fucking hate my guts a little bit for telling you that? I couldn't believe that was, she stopped talking, and I was like, all right, well, I hope she's having a stroke. That's less upsetting than her thinking that was a good enough story to waste my fucking time with. And she also commits the almost unforgivable sin of retelling a story, even after you politely inform her that you've already been told that story, which is a sign of mental illness. Like, we've all retold a story, but if someone lets you know they heard it, you just shut the fuck up. You don't Michael Myers your way through it one last time. I'm gonna tell you another barn burner she told me. This next story is gonna make you miss the perfume story. You're gonna look back on 2 minutes ago and go, fuck, we should have appreciated that one while it was here. It had the store, it had legs, it had sense. Here's the whole other story. She was talking to that same friend again. They were talking about a woman she hadn't seen in a long time. She turned around, the woman was right there. Who the fuck cares? How is that interesting? Gives a shit. Were her tits out? Was she pointing a flamethrower at you? But in fairness, the first time she told me we hadn't slept together yet, so my enthusiasm was still pretty high. I was like, oh my God, she was right there. Oh, what are the odds, you know? She lived in a small shit town. The odds were 2 to 1, but I didn't say that. So the next time she went to tell me, I did that thing you do. It's a polite thing where you gently finish it for someone. Not aggressively, not angrily, but she starts and I go, oh, and she was right there. Like, I even faked a smile. Like it was this fun story that I couldn't stop thinking of myself. And that was her hint to just go, oh, okay, I told you this. But I go, oh, and she was right there. And she goes, no. And then tells me the same story word for word. And when she finished, I said, do you have Asperger's? Do you think I'm going to forget I just said those words to you 10 seconds ago? And we've married for 2.5 years and sleeping in separate rooms for about a year. But we're not mad at each other. There's no aggression behind that. It's very simple. I like it ice cold when I'm sleeping. My wife likes it 78 degrees. That's the actual, I didn't just make up a number so you would also hate her. That's the real number, 78. I said to her, were you hatched? How the fuck do you sleep like this? Do you understand the rage you feel when you wake up stuck to the sheet wet? And 78 has been set on the thermostat and she's comfortably asleep? You want to put a pillow on her face and staple it around her head. And I was talking to somebody, and he goes, you know, that whole temperature argument that you have right before bed with your spouse, he goes, that's the worst part about being married. And I thought about it, and it's not. It's not even in the top 10 worst things about being married. What are you, stupid? The worst thing about being married is that I'm not allowed to have sex with other people. Isn't that kind of everybody's top 5 answer? Not the temperature. I'll sleep in the oven if I can fuck a hooker once in a while. But I am faithful to my wife. I do not cheat on my wife. Then what am I going to say? Even if I was cheating a lot, I would lie to you with sincerity. I love the old gal. Couldn't do it. I mean, if I'm going to deceive her, I'll lie to you about it. But no, it's not hard to be faithful when you look like that. I mean, this is not a big, tall order. All I have to do to be faithful is not pay a person to have sex with me. But no, I am, and I say I'm bragging about being faithful because my wife is the first person I've really been faithful to. I'm a sex addict. I've cheated on every other partner I've ever had. But with my wife, it's really simple. Like, I love my wife. I don't want to get caught. That's it. That's the entire reason. I love her too much, because I can separate sex and love. I can compartmentalize them. But I love her too much to risk destroying the relationship by being a selfish asshole. Like, some guys are like, I love my wife too much to cheat. Ah, that's great. I don't. I could cheat on her while she was going in for emergency surgery. But I don't. Because it's not worth it. And you know what? You're going to get caught if you cheat. You are going to get caught. The phone, there's no way around the technology of the phone. You know, and I've gotten caught every time I've cheated. Somebody has busted me, and I was paranoid and I was careful. So if I can get caught, you can get caught. You know, because I was really paranoid. Like, I would never have my phone ring. I would never get text messages, never a notification, which is a shady. So if you're with someone and they never get a phone call, they're either fucking someone or everybody hates their guts. Or in my case, it was both, but I did an iPhone update, not realizing that now I was going to some reason have vibrate on my text messages. 2 o'clock in the morning on a wooden dresser. You know, I mean, that's a very And my girlfriend at the time was smart, and she's like, who is that? And I was like, it's my friend in Hawaii. I was panicking, doing time zone subtraction, trying to figure out where it was still daylight. And I like nude photos. I like getting naked photos a lot. I mean, there's no dopamine hit better than when someone sends you that first nude photo of themselves. It's like somebody dipped your head in menthol. It's like a fucking, whew. And women don't have that response. Like, if I send a dick, my dick is half hard over a paper plate, like, you know, looks good, huh? You know, it's... But I would always delete them. Always delete them because, you know, again, I don't want to get caught. I'm not stupid. Did you know that when you delete a picture on your iPhone goes, well, hang on now. You may want to look at this in the next 30 days. So we're going to put this in the recently deleted folder. It should say that on the box when you buy an iPhone. I don't need my fucking phone calling an audible when I'm getting rid of tit pictures. And I remember my ex-girlfriend, I was doing that shady thing of holding my phone crooked, deleting, and she was smart. She goes, let me see your phone right now. And I went into acting overdrive. I was like, what the fuck? You ever open your eyes really wide when you're lying because you want to look innocent? You know, and auditioning for the part of the guy who doesn't cheat, Jim Norton. I'm like, I can't live like this anymore. And she actually goes, oh my God, I'm sorry. I just want to see your recently deleted folder. And I remember thinking, I've never heard of that folder before. You're going to get caught. It's not worth hurting the person you love. That's my message. The glory days of cheating are over. I'm sorry, guys. The iPhone, any type of smart technology in the phones is ruining it. The glory days of cheating was like 2007 and the 14 billion years before that. Basically from the Big Bang until the second Bush administration. Shove it in any hole you see. But all you young guys, you missed out. You know, all you guys who are 25, you missed the great days. I'll be out in a minute of, washing your dick in the sink, standing on your tiptoes. Your balls are all cold against the porcelain. Your dick never reaches the water, so you got to splash, slime, splash, slime. You come out with water all over your pants. You look like a cheating fuck. So that's the only suggestion I give to anybody to behave a certain way. If you're getting away with it, cut your losses, stop right now. Again, but it's not a moral judgment I'm making on you. Like, if I could cheat and get away with it, I'd be in trouble. Like, if I'm walking home tonight, I live about 30 minutes from here. If I'm walking home tonight and a woman went, hey, I'm going to jump off that building in 1 minute. You want to have sex with me before I do? I would be delighted. She's going to jump in 1 minute. That seems like a very low risk of getting caught. Sure, it may hurt my feelings that she's going to jump in a minute and she needs motivation, and then she sees me and goes, oh boy. But I would congratulate her on choosing someone who could get it done in the allotted time frame. Hey, great news, lady. You're going to have time to write a note. And I never thought I would do it. I truly never thought I would get married. I mean, I was in my 50s when I got married, and and again, my wife, I tease her, but she's my favorite person. One thing that's strange about her is, like, she has no ability to make a person feel better. And she's a very nice person. It's not out of cruelty, but again, it's that, like, you know how some people, they just always say the wrong thing, and it's not on purpose. Like, I had put on like 25 pounds. And again, I lost some of it, but I'm still very unhappy. But I would take off my shirt. I was shaped like a baggie with a goldfish in it. Just a pile of shit. And so I was just, commiserating with my wife. I was like, oh, God, I fattened up. And she said, a lot of people did. Oh, thank you, doctor, for sharing your research results. That's very helpful. Perhaps you can introduce me to some of these slobs and we can gas ourselves together in a garage this afternoon. She said to me with no irony whatsoever, I think you're really cute. Why do so many people say you're ugly? Shouldn't you just wonder that to yourself? Like, I get it, you see your husband getting called ugly in the comments, but you don't have to bring me onto the exploratory committee to figure it out, do you? She has terrible taste in movies, and we were watching a Western, and I don't even remember what the guy was doing. It was something really macho, and she goes, I am so glad you're not an alpha. I know, me too. What a relief, right? Who needs to feel protected? Beta cuck reporting for duty. Then I put a rose in my mouth and squatted over a cucumber. And we're going to get a dog soon. We have a dog coming, I think, this week sometime. She wanted kids, but we tried, She's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I don't know. We're going to keep trying. Battery of tests. And the doctor finally broke her to us. He's like, we're sorry, but her dick, it's just not going to happen. I always know who's familiar with my life by where they start laughing in that joke. But my wife's penis, which I realize sounds like the title of a progressive children's book. The words are written in block letters, and on the cover the husband has a blue beard and a dress, and the wife has a tent in her overalls. surrounded by a diverse group of accepting friends. It's a pop-up book. If your kid comes home from school with a bandage over his eye, see, you made it to chapter 2, the reveal. But my wife's penis really is the only difference between her and other women I've dated. Like, I understand it's a difference, but I mean, like, biologically, of course, somebody transgender is different. There's a lot of different things internally. But just in our day-to-day life, our interactions as people, her penis is the only difference. And it is a significant difference. Like, don't let anybody... Sorry to offend any gender studies professors. Oh my God, it's nothing. No. It is a significant and impressive difference. If you think it's humbling to have your wife make more money than you. Her being transgender is not, it's not the driving force of our existence together. Like, it's not what we talk about all the time. It doesn't dictate every move we make. The only time it comes up is if she raises it because she wants to get out of doing something. Because like anybody else I've dated, she's manipulative. Doing day-to-day things, like getting packages out of the lobby. I'll go down every day and get the packages. Every day I'm in the lobby getting the packages. And I'll say to her, hey, can you go down today? And she'll go, like, Jim, no, I can't go out right now. I'm not wearing makeup. And I'm like, well, it doesn't matter. You live here. No one cares. It's like, Jim, I can't go out, or I'm transgender. And I'm like, I know, they're not my size 11 Uggs in the hallway. Put on a Joker mask, you lazy pothead, and get the fucking boxes. The point is, she'll say that like it's this new thing in my life. But it's not. Like, now it's more in the zeitgeist. Like, people talk about it more. They're talking about it at a younger age. Like, there's this thing, like, should little kids be able to transition? Look, I don't have kids, but I think the only time, like, a really small child should be able to transition is if, like, you had a boy, but you wanted a girl. Oh, now. Take it back. But it's not new. Like, I first discovered this, like, you know, now they teach things. I didn't know this existed until I was 15 years old, and I discovered it through porn. I was watching porn with, I guess 4 of us were watching porn, and this transsexual porn star from the 80s named Selka came on screen, and none of us knew this existed, and she had giant tits and a dick. And it was silence. All of us just were stunned. And then my friends were like, oh, that's disgusting, oh my God. And I was like, yeah. But I made a mental note. So that's the point. That doesn't work because it's not new to me. Like, you know, I mean, yeah, I missed out on Bitcoin, but I was way ahead of the curve with transgender people. I think the drag queen argument was kind of funny to me, where they were saying that drag queens are going to sexualize children and turn them gay. Most drag queens are not sexual. You ever been to a drag show? They're campy. It's not a sexy feeling you get. It's some guy who's 6'4" in pancake makeup, sweating profusely, running up and down. There's no business like show business. Fanning himself theatrically, kicking up his heels, calling everybody honey. I mean, if that turns your son into a homosexual, you're not the masculine influence at home that you thought you were. I'm sorry. But I would be lying if I said I never saw video of a drag show where there was an inappropriately dressed performer and a kid present. Because I have seen that, where there's little kids and the performer's wearing like a skin-tight, snug, form-fitting thong. So I don't think a parent is a transphobe if they're like, look, I don't want my 3rd grader putting $1 between the thigh and scrotum of a woodshop teacher from Ontario, Canada. Does anybody remember that woodshop teacher from Ontario? I do not believe this was a trans person. From what I can ascertain, I think this was a cross-dresser, which is different, and it's perfectly fine, but that kind of goes into fetish, and that doesn't belong in a school if it's like a sexual thrill. And he just showed up for school one day with size Z fake breasts out to here. And he said it was some kind of a glandular condition, like gigantus, whatever it was. It was some term that he said was natural, and the nipples were that big. No bra, just parading around. And the Canadians, instead of just firing this guy, they had to take the whole thing through the court system because they're so polite up there. Well, you know, who's to say? You know, I don't know. I'll say. It's bullshit. I'll say. How do I know? Because if they were real, I'd push my wife in the ocean and move to Ontario, Canada. That's how. And I would suck those tits until my teeth fell out. I would coo. I would kick my little feet. Some people, like, they say some really crazy, like, they're like, your wife's not a woman. So, yeah, you've never seen her standing in front of the television having a full conversation with a minute left in the fourth quarter. Sometimes we go through the airport, there's a mild inconvenience. That's all. Because you know how you go through an x-ray machine? They still don't have this one figured out. But the x-ray machine takes a silhouette of your nude form underneath your clothing. They're trying to see if you're smuggling cocaine in your underwear, which unfortunately I've never been mistaken for a cocaine smuggler. They were looking one time, but then the supervisor was like, it's just personal use. But then my wife, Miss Intent to Distribute, steps in and they see her bulge. They think it's El Chapo's niece. They come out with the dog. Stop her, the tall woman with the lesbian. I couldn't have married a fragile personality. I couldn't have married somebody who gets upset very easy, and she doesn't care. They'll be like, Miss, we're so sorry, we have to get a female agent to pat you down. And she's like, go ahead, I don't give a shit. And I'm just standing there like a little bitch boy with the luggage. Watching some stone-faced bitch from Newark touch my wife's balls. I'm probably the only person who has ever said those words in a row. And I'd be lying if I said it never turned me on. One of the agents was really attractive, and her hand is going up, and I'm like, oh, please suck her dick. It hit me. How was your flight? My wife got blown at the airport. It was really nice. And that would be a story I wouldn't mind her telling more than once or at parties. She definitely has the soul of a woman. If there is a soul, she has a woman's soul. And here's why I think that. I didn't just say that because I think it sounds good. It was a weird little life situation. We had contractors over fixing my windows. And after they left, she goes, you are so fucking embarrassing. And I'm like, why? And she goes, look at the front of your sweatpants. You know, sometimes you're home, you don't tap as well as you... Or at all, apparently. I had a piss stain the size of a manhole cover in the front of my... And she goes, look at the front of your sweatpants. I had to stand in front of you the whole time so they wouldn't notice that. And I said, my God, that is a woman's soul. That is a woman's essence. No man would ever protect another man from the humiliation of pissing on himself in front of a stranger. If she was a guy pretending, she would have blown her cover right there. Look at that, he pissed on himself. This old fuck pissed on himself. And I do these jokes, and activists are so irritating, because I'll do these jokes, and they'll say things like, just because you're married to somebody transgender doesn't mean you're not transphobic. Actually, that's exactly what it means. Maybe you should redefine transphobic. What do you think, I just love my wife and hate all other trans people? It's actually just the opposite. But we're at that point now where people just get off on punishing each other. I really think there's like this really crazy high people get from inflicting punishment on other people. But it's just to make ourselves feel better. None of it's real when we go after people like that. It's all fake. We don't care what people are like. Can we stop pretending we care? If you found out Thomas Edison fucked kids, would you stop turning the lights on? It's a terrible example. The last thing a pedophile would invent is a light bulb. I don't understand pedophiles. I realize that's not a controversial statement. You're never gonna lose the audience saying that. What do you mean you don't get it? It's just so gross. I don't even like kids as friends. I don't understand it. I don't dislike kids. Don't misinterpret this. I don't dislike children at all. If I go to your house and you have kids, I'm not going to ask you to put them in the yard, but don't try to force an interaction between me and your 6-year-old. You ever have a parent do that? It's just uncomfortable for the kid. It's uncomfortable for me. We don't know each other. And they're like, why don't you tell Jim what your principal said about your project? And I'm trying to eye contact the kid, like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. And don't leave me alone with your child. I'll explain that. That's a semicolon, not an exclamation point. Don't leave me alone with your child because I don't want the responsibility of carrying a conversation. I don't know what to talk to a kid about. You know, the woman I'm talking about, you know, she had a 6-year-old. The three of us are in the living room. And then she just leaves. And me and the kid are in the living room alone. And we have nothing in common except her. I'm trying to fuck her. I can't complain to him about it. So I kept hoping that he would get the ball rolling. I'm like, but he was a very stupid boy. Very unimpressive, stupid boy. So I finally just started. I was like, what do you think of this whole Gaza thing? Which was ridiculous, because now we're in a 45-minute argument. And the point of the story is this. He was running around doing what he was doing, and he fell. The kid fell, and he hurt himself. Now, I honestly didn't see him fall. I was on my phone looking at OnlyFans. I have no idea. I was trying to get past the CAPTCHA window. Do we need those windows in front of porn, you know, to make sure you're not a robot? Like, are robots jerking off and not doing their jobs? I hate those CAPTCHA windows. Fucking, how do they find the photographers for that? Do you photograph crosswalks? Have you taken pictures of buses from various distances? Are you a fan of traffic lights or stop signs? I prefer the fire hydrants. I am the master of the fire hydrant. If you get a bunch of them, email them to me. I'll tell you which ones are the hydrants. So the kid fell and he's crying, and I can't go over to him. You know, I'm not going to go over to a crying child and have the mother come in. It's very, very awkward, and I didn't help him up. I don't touch kids, ever. Ever, even if I'm allowed to. I don't touch them. No room for misinterpretation. If I'm on a subway platform and a kid is running towards the tracks, good luck to you, son. Good luck. Stop him. Fuck you and fuck him. I remember I had a childhood memory. You ever have a childhood memory come back like 30 or 40 years later? I was in 4th grade, and I had a little girlfriend named Jill. Very innocent stuff. We would kind of hold hands, tell people we were in love and going to get married. But I had never kissed a girl in 4th grade. So I said to my dad, I want to kiss Jill, but I don't know what to do. And my father really thought about it. He goes, all right, here's what you do. Walk up, ask her if you can smell her breath. When she breathes, you lean in quick and kiss her. Even in 4th grade, I was like, I'm good. Even at that age, I realized that was Ted Bundy-ish advice. Hey, Dad, I want to kiss Jill. What should I do? Well, you put on a fake cast and see if she'll help you put a sofa into a van. I don't, I don't have anything against kids. And my wife really did want to adopt at one point. And I remember when, I married somebody who was not going to have kids, which I really wanted to marry someone who couldn't. I remember when Roe versus Wade got overturned, we both just looked at each other. Yeah, I had very mixed feelings about that, to be really honest with you. I had very mixed feelings about Roe versus Wade. I think at the end of the day, okay, I have to say that a woman, you can do whatever you want with your own body. I should not be able to tell you any differently. But I can't say that I'm for abortion. I can't say that because I am only alive because of an abortion that was refused. Roe versus Wade, the original case was January of 1973. June of 1973, my mother went for an abortion, and they turned her away. The doctor refused to do it because I was 5. I remember it well. She was begging the guy to grandfather her in. She even held up my first report card to prove that I was not viable outside the womb. The doctor finally grabbed her by the shoulders and said, "Man up, lady, and leave this thing in a hot car like everyone else does." But Clarence Thomas scared a lot of people. He scared a lot of people because as crazy a decision as that was, he then, by the way, I am all for people getting abortions. I was joking. You get as many as you want. I mean, but I don't think, I will say, I don't think every person who's anti-abortion is crazy. Like, I don't think all pro-lifers are crazy. Anyway, the no exceptions people are crazy. I mean, the no rape and incest exceptions. If you tell a raped woman you have to keep a baby, someone should come in your mouth. And you can't spit it out for 9 months. It's a gift from God. A gift from God. I mean, if it's from God, you figure he would figure out a better way to get a gift to somebody. I want to give this woman the gift of life, but I have no ideas. You got anything? I mean, a PlayStation is a great gift, but you don't want it shoved up your asshole at knife point. But Clarence Thomas did scare a lot of people because of all the other cases he started mentioning that he thinks, for whatever reason, were also incorrectly decided. Predictably, Obergefell, gay marriage, of course he's against that. He thought that was incorrectly decided. And I don't understand the obsession with gay people getting married, why people are so against that. They'll never be honest and just say we don't like gay people. They say like, well, it's to protect traditional. It's to protect. I'm fucking taping. It's to protect. All of a sudden, I'm one of those people I hated growing up. Curtains. You know those people that say, I like the curtains. I'm certain. Jim Norton. There's no D in my name, you fucking idiot. To protect. We'll fix that one in post. And another case, this was a really sinister one. The Lawrence case in the great free state of Texas. They love liberty in Texas. The Lawrence case was 1998. It sounds like a 1930s case. Sodomy was against the law in Texas. So the cops bravely went into the house of a couple having anal, 2 guys, and they arrested them. Now, I don't know how you get caught in your living room. Maybe you're doing it right by the front door, and they look through that letter thing. Aha! And I don't know how I give credit to the top in that situation. I don't know how you keep an erection when the SWAT team is running up the steps. That guy really was balls. He's like, you'll have to pry my dick from these warm, tight cheeks. And I don't know what you do if you're the cop in that situation. Do you grab the guy by the shoulders? Come on, young. So they arrest these guys from their own home for having anal sex in the house. And they go to court, and they work up to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court, I think, correctly decides that the Constitution covers privacy enough where you can have anal in the house. I'm paraphrasing a little bit. But Clarence Thomas thinks the states should decide. Certain conservatives confuse me. Like, you're supposed to be the less government infringement people. You're supposed to believe in less government in people's personal lives, but you're comfortable having a cop knock on someone's door. We're gonna have to smell your dick. Yeah, we saw the perfectly manicured flowers on the windowsill. We know what's going on in there. Unzip your fly, rub it under my nose like a cigar. Let's go, fella. If it tastes like ass, you're going to jail. Life is random, though. That's kind of my point, I guess. You know, being married, and where did you guys meet? You're a married couple. I don't do a lot of crowd work. But I'm always curious because it's so random. Like, where'd you meet? A dating app. Which one? It's funny, Hinge. I think I was 0 for 625 on Hinge. I was fucking Aaron Judge in the playoffs and fucking... I was on Match at one point. I tried Match.com, and I did a pilot for a show called Benders, which had Andrew Schultz and Chris DiStefano. And, yeah, I know, and if you mentioned my name at their shows, no one would go, woo. But I played a guy in the pilot who dies of cancer. I'm a hockey player who dies of cancer. I wasn't supposed to die of cancer, but then they saw my acting. They're like, right, cancer. He's got a tumor. He's got a fucking... I don't know. What's the score? Tumor. He's got a fucking pancreas. Stage 4. So I wound up, they put me in all this like really pasty white makeup and like a suit that was too big, and they blackened my fingernails. So I took a bunch of pictures in that and put it on Match.com. I just wanted to prepare a woman for the type of fuck she was gonna get. And isn't it random? You didn't know the first time, you remember the first time you saw her, right? And you have no idea when you lay eyes on someone for the first time, wow, that's the person I'm gonna spend my life with. That's how random life can be. You don't know you've just laid eyes on your future partner, your wife for the rest of your life. I didn't plan on marrying my wife. It wasn't romantic the first time I saw her. She was effortlessly winning a swimming competition. And I remember being so turned off by all those second and third place losers. All those women, ooh, glug, 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 water filling up their vaginas, slowing them down, and there she was in the center lane like a speedboat, just with an uncircumcised rudder, just cutting up and down. I remember asking somebody, who is that gal in first place by 18 laps? Who is that? Why is J.K. Rowling calling her a Thank you guys very much. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hold on, look, just don't break my mic.
You excited for your special?
Do you
Does
think
this feel forced?
Yeah, it does, because you know I'm telling you what a bad storyteller you are. I don't want lipstick. I love you too. But yeah, that was very forced into camera. This was and auditioning for the part of loving wife would be Nikki Norton. Are you looking forward to your special? What's that? What are you doing? I thought you quit smoking. What are you doing? I thought you quit smoking. She forgot she just had these in her hand. You forgot. You literally, this fucking bullshitter, you said you quit. And you're like, Jim, I don't want to be a smoker. You forgot. You literally, this fucking bullshitter, you said you quit. And you're like, Jim, I don't want to be a smoker. What are you doing?
Sorry.